10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Yes, people, what is going on? It is Team Kop-Ish, and we are back with another Prem panel show. I've got Daps, got Lee, I've got Carefree. Unfortunately, George can't make it tonight. Hopefully, George will be back with us next week. He can't make it. And we might even see Cass today as well, potentially. But
hold on, let's just point out we've got 4 teams that won.
Yeah. So it's good vibes. It's good vibes. It's good vibes, but I kind of wanted to do some cooking today. Still, I can't even lie. I wanted to do some cooking.
So one week when my team ain't getting cooked.
Trust me, bro. It feels good, innit, Lewis? Like we're not getting cooked for once, innit?
Yeah, you know we back up. So, we back up.
Hey, we back. Just like John Jones, boy. Jeez. Like that. Undefeated. But no, listen, big up everyone in the chat, big up everyone that's watching. Smash that like button. Make sure you go subscribe to these guys as well. I can't stress it enough. These guys are amazing content creators. Go and subscribe to them. The links will be in the description as well. But yeah, how's everyone feeling today, though, man?
Good, man. Good. Not too bad.
I feel like it's too much of a happy panel. There's not really.
No, that's what I'm saying. There's there's 2 ingredients and neither of them are here.
Yeah, do you know what though? All right, so we still got a lot of things. We still got things to dice up. It's just that it might not necessarily be about our teams in the mud, innit? So listen, we'll start with one.
That feels like eating a vegetarian meal, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
You just want to do some serious cooking, innit? But no, do you know what? All right, let's cook anyway. So one of the things on the agenda today was Spurs. Now I know George ain't here, but we can still speak about Spurs. And damn right, we have to speak about Spurs. They got knocked out the cup, and then they lost to Wolves. Spurs are having a very, very indifferent season, just like us. However, I feel like for them, I thought they turned the corner potentially when they beat City. Sorry, Daps. But they didn't turn that corner.
That's
bro.
Normal,
they just stayed walking straight, didn't turn and walk straight into the wall. And it's all going wrong. I'll start with you, Lee, because I know you are a big, big Conte fan for the wrong reasons. You have been on Conte's back all season. Furthermore, from when he joined, didn't it? So, bro, are you surprised, or did you even think to yourself, you know what? Even though I don't rate them, surely they're going to be doing better than getting net. Who they got knocked out by again, Lee? Who was it again?
They got knocked out by
yesterday. Sheffield United, didn't it? When even Wednesday, Sheffield United, bro.
In the FA Cup, and then obviously last night they got knocked out by Sporting. We played
AC Milan.
AC Milan.
Yeah, bro. So they've been So hold on, I just realized you're right. So they got knocked out the flipping FA Cup, right? FA Cup.
Yeah. Then they lost to Wolves 1-0. So
FA
in the last 3
then
games,
they lose to Wolves, and then they go and obviously draw against AC Milan, but obviously still got at the time for the Champions
League. It's relevant to say that they rotated against Sheffield United.
Yeah, they did. They wanted to rest it. They rested their players. Thank you, Daps. They did. They rested their players all just to go and get beat against Wolves. Like, Lee, what's going on with them? They're your noisy neighbors, bro.
Listen, firstly, look, like, I think I've been saying this for a while, man. They're just not good. He's not a good manager. The main thing I'm going to say is, and I've been saying it all week, if the answer is Richarlison or Danjuma or Romero or Dyer, I don't even know what the question is, but that's not the answer. They are so bad. And the thing is, I'm realizing, and this is how I know that, I can self-reflect on my team is, I remember we had Mustafi and we had Kolasinac and we had Koscielny and we had Özil and we had Aubameyang. These men weren't it. Now what I have, I can see they weren't it. And honestly, these men are so overrated. It is unbelievable. Romero is so overrated. And I've been saying it for a while. He is crap. He's actually crap. And look, the manager, I don't know what more I can say on this guy. I don't know how many more times I keep saying this guy. And do you know what? Last week you weren't here, Matt. And we had a conversation about his Saka world class. And the main sticking point was he is not world class because he's not done it in Europe. Their manager's not done it in Europe. So how can he be world class? Yes, he's done it in two different continents, in one continent in 3 different countries or 2 different countries.
Yeah.
But he isn't the guy that people keep making him out to be. And I've been saying this, he is not good. He gets paid £15 million, and I went to the North London derby, so I had a really, really good look at Spurs near the beginning of the season. I think we played them in October, just after one of the first international break, and what they did against Arsenal is exactly the same thing they do against every other team. 3 at the back, no changes. There's no almost like, where's that panache? Where's that vavavoom? Where's that kind of movement that you're trying to see? Look, and I keep thinking about Harry Kane. Why is Harry Kane getting away with all of this madness week in and week out? The guy, people keep saying, "Oh, you're going to plop Harry Kane into Man City and he will get them over the line." Oh, listen, can we relax for a second? Why is it that this guy just gets lauded as this needle mover and he's going to be the cherry on top, when I've seen him every single opportunity he has, he loses his rank and he doesn't kind of put his team in a position to really win. Unfortunately for me, he gets a lot of blame. And the reason why, just like when I was on to Salah, is because you're meant to be the guy to put your team over the top.
Yeah.
And that is why I signal out these players, because you're meant to be the guy. It would be the same thing. Who does everybody blame on for losing the Champions League final? Henry. Why? Because apparently he's not world class because he never scored in the final. That's what they blame. They don't blame nobody else. They don't blame the fact that we had 10 men in that Champions League final. They blame Henry because he's meant to be the needle mover. He's meant to be the guy. And listen, man, I don't know how much more I can keep saying about Conte, man. The guy is one of the biggest frauds in football. I'm sorry to say, when he was at Juventus, look, he got them up from Serie B, look, fantastic, and he did some really good stuff. But listen, you talk about, I mean, I'm sure that these Man United fans are going to keep going on about how they said that Liverpool's time was over, but every single manager has their little stint. Every manager has their stint, and his stint has well and truly gone. And my last point I'm going to say, I don't understand how this guy can be world class when he down tools at Spurs, he's down tools at Chelsea, and he's also, packed up and left because he didn't get a couple of players at Inter Milan. Now, look, some people could say it was noble, but to me, where's your ambition? Where's your fight? Where's your fight? And I'll leave it there.
Do you know what? I'll piggyback straight off of that. For me, firstly,
sorry, Dutch. Do you guys know if this is true?
Yeah, that's actually true.
Lies.
He ain't won a UCL knockout game in a decade.
Bro, that was 10 years ago.
But this is a thing, Matt. At the start of the season, well, when the Champions League was about to start, I did a show with several Tottenham fans, and I think I know which show it is, so I might go and find it. And I said to him, look, you've got to take this is not me slandering you, because it's coming from a Manchester City fan that has not won the Champions League, right? Yeah. I said, but we've won domestically a lot, right?
Yeah.
We've got a manager that has won the Champions League twice. And me as a fan, I'm still like, I don't know if we're going to do it or not, right? I said, now I'm with you lot, and it's great that you lot have got these bragging rights that you got Champions League football and Arsenal didn't, yeah? But you've got Conte, you think you've had a good transfer window, and you think you might win a trophy this season. So I said, for me, the best, and you've got a manager that's done fuck all in Europe, right? For me, the best bet is great you got that over Arsenal, but go out of that as early as possible and concentrate on getting that trophy. Because I said, let's be real. Do you really think you're going to win the Champions League? They were like, why can't we? And I was like, do you know what? I've just told you why, because I'm a City fan that's won everything here, got a manager that can win the Champions League, and I'm still doubting my team. You're here thinking you can go from winning no trophies to winning the Champions League, the biggest trophy there is, the hardest one to win. It's mad. But for me, I don't get how they put up with this negativity. I couldn't have a manager that is constantly going against my club like that. And I said at the start, same energy you had with Mourinho, right? Mourinho got them to a final in less time and with less money.
You know what's funny though?
Sorry, Lee. Sorry, just quickly, because I wanted to get onto Lewis as well, because I know Lewis being pushed away. Don't forget what he's going to say, though, Lee. Don't forget.
Yeah.
Lewis, just quickly, yeah? You've had your fair share of managers over the years. You're kind of notorious for it, but somehow Chelsea always managed to land on their feet, yeah? With Spurs, they've had a few, obviously. They've had Pochettino, they've had Nuno, and obviously they got Conte, yeah? Bro, did you even imagine this from Conte? Because obviously you saw firsthand what he can do, innit? But did you at least think, give him time and he's going to improve them, or did you always kind of see this happening?
I was saying give him time initially because I did have the idea that he wanted to build something at Tottenham. And I thought with the right tools, like he would be capable of it. But he don't want to be there. He's just riding out that job till the end. And I know there was talks of it being like that at Chelsea. He did give up in terms of with the board, but like I said, with the way that we were playing that season, the players also took a massive responsibility for that season too. It was never as bad as it is now. Like I was looking at some of the quotes from his press conference after the last game against Milan. He was saying how historically there's a significant difference between them, and he was talking about how it impacted the performance. Like, bro, he's just straight up disrespecting the club.
That's what I'm saying. I don't get how they take that.
To get sold or because he don't care. He just doesn't care. Like, he doesn't want to be there. He's waiting till either the contract expires or they sack him and he gets a payout. But everything up until that point is just him protecting his image. That's why Spurs are playing so defensive. Like, I didn't even bother watching that match. I knew it was going to be a sin to watch. And then I saw the XG for that game was 0.1 on both sides or something. It was just Spurs sitting deep and just nothing. It was just dead. And that's all he's trying to do. He's just trying to protect his name because he's not playing the style of play that Tottenham would go out and get battered with. It's different with us. Like, we have the better mentality. We've had the better players, and that's why with us, like, we also have the smarter decisions with managers too. All of our managers have all fallen out for issues, like not really to do with them being sacked just because they failed over a season. It would have been like either for homesick or they fell out with the board, or like Mourinho when he had us a point off the relegation zone and stuff like that. But we always found the right manager, at least for us for the short term. With Tottenham, it's like, I don't know. For me, it's a mentality thing because they had Mourinho and then they sacked him 6 days before a cup final. I can't take that club seriously.
I still can't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. You can't take that seriously.
You can't.
Literally, their first trophy of a decade, and they sacked their manager to protect their own.
But more importantly, it's who the manager was. But this is the thing, that if that was a manager that had no history of winning trophies, you could just about. But like ultimately, we know why it was. It was because of money, right? And they can't even hide it because they had, like, their fan base want trophies more than anything. As a club,
of course, more than anything. Yeah, bro.
Right? And they had the one manager that has the history of fucking knowing how to win trophies. And ultimately, at that point, by getting rid of him, it was they chose money over trophies. It was that simple.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No, I agree. Lee, I'll come to you. I remember you wanted to say something there, don't it? Can you remember it? Or
do you know what? And look, I know sometimes in this YouTube world, right? Like, you have to separate between the bants and you know what people say as real fans. But I know there were two big YouTubers, Spurs fans, that genuinely believed that they were going to go to the final and win the Champions League. Like, I don't believe they were just. Listen,
you'd have to say on air.
Listen, I don't mind saying names because I don't give a crap.
Well, private chat.
Yeah, just private chat us in our group. Just let us know in our group.
Deji and George.
No, and Patrick, both of them.
Patrick.
We didn't even need WhatsApp. We just said it live.
Both of them believed that they were going to win the Champions League, and they planned a route of all the top teams, Real Madrid, the likes of even possibly Liverpool, whoever it is that's going to go through, PSG, Bayern Munich. They planned the route to the final and how these top teams were going to play each other.
I beg someone send me that stream, please. I'm gonna watch out the flat.
Listen, they said it on One Touch TV. Big up my guy Kunle, and they also said it on the infamous. The guy above me, man, on his channel as well. So listen, man, for me, and
that's recent. If we went back to October, I bet they were saying even worse.
Listen, man, it's mad. They had this dream that they were gonna win the Champions League, and I'm just like, this is what we have to deal with. Like, and listen, I like all of these guys in it, but it is a bit mad. It is a bit mad that they genuinely believe this farcical idea that they're gonna win the Champions League. And yeah, listen, man, it's now come home to roost. And look, it's always dangerous to try and get a win now manager because you know you set your squad up for failure because you know that they're not going to get players that they like young players to invest in the future. They're not going to treat people the way they should be because they don't care because they're not going to be there for a long period of time. You can see now what's happened with Richarlison. He now knows that really and truly, he
Bro.
probably shouldn't have gone there because of what you said. So
Or hold on, bro. Or did Richarlison also maybe use them because he wanted World Cup football and he got that?
yeah,
No,
yeah,
but
yeah.
can we just say this as well, though, just quickly? As much as like I don't really rate Richarlison, I don't really like him as a person for various reasons because of
Yeah,
the injury that he gave to flipping Thiago and whatever. And I just think sometimes he just goes over the top. He's a bit too overzealous and he tries to be a bit too, oh, I'm about this life, square out to man for no reason when he's not going to back it. One thing I have to kind of give him credit for, though, is that he had a decent World Cup.
He did.
Decent World
No,
Cup.
he did.
Yeah?
He did.
What I find so mad though is that he's had a decent World Cup. He goes back to Spurs, and even though I don't rate him, bro, it's like
Did he get injured? Did he get
No.
injured?
Yeah, he got injured after the World Cup.
he
got
might
injured.
have, but bro, but even like now, it's like they're two different Richarlisons. There's a Richarlison that plays for Brazil, and there's a Richarlison that plays under Conte, who just looks absolutely shocking, bro.
Oh, do you
Like,
know what? Sometimes it's. I remember. Can you remember Negredo for Man City?
yes,
Yeah.
Avalo Negredo from Sevilla.
Right.
Left
And
footed
for the
striker.
first 4 or 5 months, him and Aguero were prolific together. And then all of a sudden, I think he got homesick, and that was it. Like it was just, and that's like with Richarlison, because you're right, he struggles to even get in the team now, and it's like you've gone from being one of Brazil's best players in the World Cup, and before that, I know he wasn't scoring mad goals for Tottenham, but he was looking like a good player, and now.
Yeah,
It's like, and he was
effective.
a go-to. He was also a go-to for Conte. Whereas now it's like Conte don't want to touch him as
Don't
well.
really want
Like,
to. Yeah, don't. I don't know, man. I think Lewis is right. I think Conte is kind of down tools. He's given up, and that's just protecting the image, bro. Didn't he want that right wing back badly? Who did they buy that Pedro?
Pedro Porno.
Yeah, Pedro Porno. Yeah, bro. I listen. I ain't seen a lot of their games, like in terms of like from what I can really say about him. But does he even look good? Does he look like?
Have you heard anything about him?
I'm good with that.
Matt, have you heard anything about him?
No, not really. I haven't. Really...
That's why.
That's the thing, though. Like,
What did you say, Lewis?
No, that's why you ain't heard anything about him.
Yeah. Real talk.
I think that was my original thing. I was saying,
Yeah.
You know, these guys like Richarlison. If these guys, Danjuma, I'm sorry, but these guys are the guys you're calling off the bench, and they're the answer to your.
Hold on, Spurs ain't got Danjuma.
They got Danjuma.
He barely played.
Bro, do you want to know something?
Debut and did a celebration.
Do you know what? I forgot. Obviously, I forgot they signed him. But bro, I swear he don't really play though.
He don't play, and this is my point. But even so,
they even had him as well.
The fact that they got these players, that's what I'm saying. The fact that they got, but these guys are not the guys you want to rely on.
Facts.
There's a way to look at it. Yeah, right. So Pedro Porro, yeah. We owned him. We sold him with a buy-on clause, right? Like, why do we sell him? When Walker's coming of age, why do we get rid of our right back, right? Last week, Sheffield United, who put them out the FA Cup, there's a young player that looked really, really good for City coming through the ranks called James McAtee, right? Really like him, looks good. But again, we've loaned him out because he's not ready. Well, he knocked them out. And Lee was spot on, you know, when Lee was talking about how back in the day, there was that period, yeah, while they were paying off the ground where, like, I always remember Arsenal fans hyping Coquelin, best ever DM, right? And you're spot on, bro, that it's like, and it got to a point with some Arsenal players where people go like, no, he's fucking unbelievable. I'm like, why? Because you said so. Because you've had him for like 3 months. How can you be telling me he's this good? And this is Tottenham. Like Romero, they were put in as like one of the best defenders in the Premier League after 26. Right, and this is the thing:
24 games in the league. 24.
That actually got me mad.
From your point of view, right?
There.
Van Dijk had multiple seasons at Celtic, right? Then gone to Southampton and had maybe 2 years there.
I'd say 2 years. The second year was tremendous.
Then gone to Liverpool 17. And have had several years at Liverpool, right? And people are still saying you can't put him in a conversation with like your Rios, your Vidics, your John Terrys, right? After what, 4 Premier League seasons, 2 in Scotland, but 26 games, and they want to tell us that Romero is up there.
24 games, 24.
It is like, and my one thing this season is the Haaland and Kane comparison, where everyone's going, yeah, Haaland will score more goals, but you know, Kane does more for the team. Kane's got 2 assists this season. Haaland's got 5, right? So it's like, really? Or is all of this like by your levels? And again, this summer is key with Kane for me, because if you shook a man's hand and they've said you can leave if someone comes in for you, right? And then that club hasn't let you leave. They've made your brother, who's your agent, look like an absolute prick. Your brother, your blood, right? Now, if Kane does not leave this summer, he doesn't back himself, right?
I've said this weak mentality. You know, I have to be keeping it. But listen, as much as we can talk about his goal scored exploits, if you've had multiple opportunities to therefore try and win a trophy, would you not take that chance, or would you stay for comfortability? And that's why I challenge Harry
Lee broke
Kane.
it down on a show the other day, the amount of big games he's been in, and it was kind of mad.
Since 2015, semi-finals, finals, you know, moments for England, for Spurs, where he's fluffed these lines against Chelsea, against Sheffield United, against Man United, in England, like Euros, World Cup.
It was mad when I heard it was 2 minutes long of listing all these games.
Bro, you want to know something crazy? The last thing Spurs have actually done that was really thought they were onto something was when Lucas Moura scored that. He got that amazing hat-trick, innit?
Ajax. Was that Ajax?
That was against Ajax, innit? Yeah. Bro, Kane wasn't even there. He wasn't even there. Yeah. Not only that, if we're being honest with ourselves, the last time Spurs really had a very good chance of winning a major trophy, it was against us in the Champions League 2017-2018. And what happened? Bro, and to be honest, we probably pressed the reset button for them, because that was Pochettino's last hurrah, if we're being honest.
But that's what I used as the narrative when I was
18-19, not 17-18. Yeah.
When I'm speaking with the Spurs fans about, like, do you really think you can win the Champions League? I said, because you've got to a final once, and if we're being honest, like, right, I've said it multiple times. I think if Liverpool played any other team last season in that Champions League final, they win it, because they know how to, right?
Yeah, facts.
You're against Real Madrid, who just know how to do it more. Right?
Yeah.
Now, when you played Tottenham, I'll be honest, I think Liverpool looked really fucking average, man. But they still beat Tottenham, because it's like, it was a bad final, but Liverpool just...
It was a horrible final, but we just know how to beat them. Yeah.
And it's like, you went to that final not even believing you're meant to be there. And that's my whole thing, that your fan base has to believe. If your fan base doesn't believe, you are not winning in Europe. It's that simple. Like, your fan base... And Tottenham, come on, man. You lot went there, and it's like your biggest ever achievement is the fact you got there. Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying we've won the Champions League. I know my club. We've only reached one final, but that's not our biggest moment. That would never be our biggest moment. Our biggest moments are winning leagues, doing trebles, doing doubles, doing 100 points. Like, whereas with Tottenham, I just think, and that's the thing why people talk on them, is that the fans really, really, really try and, like, talk down to man. To be frank with you.
Okay, and again, I'm sorry, but I have to do it. George, you're part of this. On the...
I like George, is he?
The 26th of January this year, he made a video saying how Tottenham can win the Premier League if Conte makes the changes.
No, man, due for the files.
I'm sorry, this is ridiculous. He's also said Romero right now sort of reminds me of when we had Vertonghen without Toby. We know that's his quality quality centre back, but I think once we pay him with another top centre back, one or two from Conte, he will reach a whole new level. It's crazy. It is deluded. I said we need to take away certain man's freedom of speech. They don't deserve it.
Man said, take away man's freedom of speech. Like, people saying, Lee, you got the receipts. Listen, before we move on, go on. Yeah, before we move on, I'm quickly read out a couple of super chats. Well, super chats, I'd say super chat. Jada actually says United lost by a touchdown. Facts. It's a shame Cass ain't here, you know. I can't even lie. Big up Cass though, because he actually came onto the show after.
Yeah, I saw that. Do you know what?
So respect for Cass for joining. You know that. You know them.
Do you know what though? Are we moving on to that game?
We will. Not just yet though. Not yet. Not yet. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to it. Yeah. We're gonna move on to it. And big up Marcus as well for becoming a member as well. Big up yourself, Marcus. But I want to talk about another team who you could say their fortunes might have changed now. And that team is Chelsea. This is the first time in a while Lewis can come onto the show and smile. And no one can't really say nothing today. However, I'm still going to ask you the tough question because obviously you've had a back-to-back victories now. You beat
2 wins.
Leeds 1-0. Then obviously you beat Dortmund to progress. However, though, bro, I want to ask you this question. I know you've won back-to-back games, but do you still think Potter's going to make it to the end of the season? Because there's a part of me that feels like you're also 2 back-to-back losses away from potentially losing your manager and stuff getting derailed. Or do you feel like, nah, do you know what? These 2 wins, I think that might have given Potter some time, at least to the end of the season.
I think as long as he doesn't go on like an 8-game losing streak or some stupidness, which we are very capable of, by the way, I don't think he'll get sacked. Like the Leeds game was like a cup final for him. That was the quote going around, and he won it. Then he won against Dortmund, and I didn't expect us to win either of those games. And that's been enough because all he needed was like results in between, like somewhere. 2 in 17 was just more than indefensible. But 2 wins on the bounce, he's reverted back to the back 5, and at least now we're a bit more defensively solid. Goals were jammy as hell. Like we got one from a corner, Sterling scuffed shots, and then a rebound.
Lewis, I'm gonna share something with you afterwards. Yeah, I said on the show the other day about the Sterling on Big Six Extra about the Sterling goal, how I smiled to myself because it was so similar to goals he used to score for City, right? And then someone
put the same video,
the exact same goal where he airshotted it first and then followed it in. But this is the key with Sterling: it's the way when other. You see how he found space? Everyone thinks he runs behind. That's not the best of Sterling. It's finding those pockets of space in the box just by dropping back. But yeah, sorry, carry on. I just had to say, he's the same player for you as he was for us. Frustrating, but he gets goals.
That was literally my thought of Sterling the whole game because everything was just, he struggled at the offside trap, had about 3 offsides, and they all would have been goals. But then it's also Sterling 1-on-1. And yeah, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. I've seen
Sterling 1-on-1 is a horror movie. I can't
you get in his mind. You know, he tries to take it round. You can get in his mind, and he's like this: should I take it round him? Should I shoot or should I pass? And he ends up doing like a mixture of all 3 that just fucks up badly. Like, and when people say about him running in behind, I'm like, no. You don't want Sterling with any time on his hands. Like, he's a player you just need to be reactionary. If he's got time on his hands, he's fucked. He's fucked.
Mm-hmm. I see that because like 1v1's not been as great this season and the finishing, but in spite of that, you still see his abilities. Like he's just a little bit flashy and all of that. But yeah, the goals were just jammy as hell. That Sterling one, we got the Havertz retaken penalty. I don't even know whether that should have been retaken or not, but I really don't care because we've had fuck all luck this season. So I'm gonna take what I can get. But yeah, I don't think Potter's getting sacked. I don't think he will. I think now he's playing a lot more defensively minded, which was what I was asking as well. Yeah. And we're a lot better. I don't expect that. I don't think the results will get too much better. There'll just be more wins here and there. But yeah, he's staying in the job.
No, fair play. Leah, I'll come to you next. Bro, do you think Potter can last season? Because at one point, bro, maybe about 2-3 weeks ago, Potter looked like he was about to go. And it looked like Chelsea had a decision to make under a lot of pressure, losing games that shouldn't have been losing, but obviously now got the 2 wins. An important one, I think, was the Champions League one more than anything. Yeah. Because I think the owners will always give them a chance, especially if Chelsea are in the Champions League and they can somehow win it. Because miracles can happen. You got to look at what's my man who won the Champions League for you, Lewis?
Di Matteo.
Oh, yeah, like Di Matteo.
Unexpected, isn't it, to win?
And he won the cup that season as well.
Yeah, beat Liverpool.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Matt. I didn't mean that.
Man, I just caught a stray out here, you know, rotted straight. But
that wasn't even a setup.
Man took a jab. No, but it is what it is. But no, all jokes aside, though, I think, yeah, Chelsea. I'm a bit iffy on them, if I'm honest, in regards to Potter, because even though I agree with Lewis, in some ways, I don't see them getting rid of him. I also see if they lose 2-3 games, especially if they go out of the Champions League and then they lose back-to-back Premier League games, I think the writing could be on the wall for him. I don't know if he finishes the season. I'll be honest.
It's a weird one because look, listen. I'll be honest. I thought they played excellently against Dortmund. I know that they were lucky with the goals, but I thought they absolutely dominated them. And I thought, look, and it's hard because a lot of Chelsea fans, I mean, from what I see and hear, I don't necessarily think they're too worried about where they finish. I think they just wanted to cling on to something and they wanted to see a better performance because I remember watching them against Spurs and I was like, this is bad. Like Spurs looked poor and Chelsea looked even worse. I don't even know how that was possible, but whatever. So yeah, like I think that's maybe, obviously Lewis can answer that question, but I don't know if I don't trust them to go on a run. I can see them losing against Leicester, and that's how bad it is. They actually remind me a little bit of Spurs, but just better. They're more organized, and I think they're better because they've just got better players. No, for real. Like, you just got better players. That's it. Like, you're not actually a good team. Like, I mean, this whole situation with yeah, I mean, you currently got some players in there. Like, we're not going to talk about Mr. 007 because he's ducking.
He ain't there yet. He ain't there
yet. He's ducking the fade. He's ducking the fade, but he will get there soon.
Bro, do you know what? Look at their trophy cabinet. That's the difference between them and Spurs.
Yeah. Like Tottenham, we were world champions a month ago. Fucking hell.
As bad as they are, I know what you mean, Lee.
I meant the playing style. What I mean?
Yeah, they're not the most exciting. Yeah, I hear that. But one thing you can say about, do you know what annoys me about Chelsea, bro? They could change their manager every 6 months, and somehow they will still win one trophy. And I'm like, how, bro? You've gone through that. You're going through like 3 managers in like 3 years.
But I do think that's not going to happen no more, though. I don't see Chelsea. I think for Chelsea, this is truly the start of a new dawn, and I can see them.
Bro, look at the way how they buy players. You think they ain't going to treat the manager the thing the same?
But you know what, though? Like, sometimes in life, fortunes change. I mean, I'm not trying to be funny, but look at Liverpool right now. Look at the way that you're moving right now. Look how last season Man City were imperious. They were playing fantastic football, and yes, they're still within a great chance of winning the league. They probably might still do it. I don't know, but they're not playing the same way they were playing last season, and that's what I mean. Every season is different, and sometimes things change. That's all I'm saying. So,
do you know the thing with Chelsea? I think like this. The win yesterday was massive, right? And here's the thing, like you've got that person, that you don't like him, like a person from you don't like him, but people you fuck with him, right? And somehow it's someone's like stag do or birthday or something, and he happens to be out, and you're out, and you have a drink with him, and then you're like, do you know what? He's all right, That's Chelsea's fan base with Potter because of the win in the Champions League, like literally, because I have a lot of people from different fan bases message me, and I have quite a few Chelsea fans message me just moan, and it was always a moan about Potter. I ain't got that since, because this is a thing, like, and this is why I think Potter was the right man. That for several years I feel Chelsea have been putting wallpaper over cracks, like
100%,
but guess what? As long as Potter keeps it on a run in Europe, the wallpaper's going back up again. The fan base all of a sudden are like, look, if we're competing in Europe, and for me, I'm like, I get it, because I always say teams like Liverpool, teams like Chelsea that have won Champions Leagues when they haven't been that good in the league, you need them out in the fucking group stages. You don't need them man lingering in the knockout stages, because like, you know how to win it. Chelsea have won 2 Champions Leagues in the last 10 years.
Look at it. Sorry, Daz. Look at the chat, bro. Graham Potter has not equal Conte's way for Champions League knockout. But
he's actually been all right. The mad thing is, Graham Potter actually has been all right in Europe this season.
Yeah.
He has.
He played actual dominant football when we've been in Europe.
That's mad though. Remember, Conte, like Lee said, Conte was brought up with a massive hype about obviously what he's done previously, not necessarily in the Champions League, but more so winning leagues. Bro, I can't lie to you. It's even more looks like Conte's just really bad.
I swear he stunk out in the Europa League as well.
He made the final
last season. No, last season they went out. They went out to
No, they didn't go out. The first thing he did when he arrived was he literally said, "Let's forfeit," and they pulled out of it.
Yeah, for real.
Because he knew what it was.
Yeah, nice. So what you lot saying then? You
So
think Chelsea are
losers.
right there with Potter then? You think they're calm at least until the end of the
Look,
season?
look, if it was me, and look,
they'll
I've
judge it in
always,
December.
I've always said it. Look, I think Potter's a good manager. I'm not going to back
Crazy,
down
man.
on it. I do think he's a good manager. I do think that, as I said last week and a week before that, Chelsea fans are spoiled, and they need to understand that if you're going to be in a process, you cannot flip flop. You have to stay within your process. And the thing is, yes, Arteta, he won the FA Cup, but we did see some things which were good, and we saw some things that were really, really bad. And listen, I think if you can stay the course, as I saw yesterday, you looked really, really good. And you can only play so poorly with, a certain amount of players, and you're only going to get more players. You've got Nkunku coming. You've got
Big
Havertz.
signing.
You've got Havertz who looks to be turning up. You've got Mudryk. Yeah, okay, fine. Right now he's got no goals and no goals and no assists in 6 games, but it hopefully will turn for him. And you've got Sterling. You've got all of these players. So you've got the likes of Felix, who you can bring off the bench or whatever it is you want to do. And then you've got Noni, is it Madueke as well? So yeah, you've got some quality there. And look, the whole thing with I think sometimes as well for Chelsea, I think this whole thing with Mount, I think it does help you a little bit, because if he leaves, it's actually a good start. It's a good start for you.
Ooh, that's a good set. Do you know what? I wanted to ask you, Lewis, about Mount. First of all, how do you rate Mount actually? Do you rate him highly, or is he to you he's just decent, or you want to get rid of him?
I used to rate him highly. Now I think he's just arse personally.
Really?
Yeah, reject. Yeah, he's been terrible. He's been one of our worst players this season.
No, but is it but see this season? But is it a confidence
parts of
thing,
last
though?
season? Parts of last season, he hit it with GNA, but I was very inconsistent.
The reason I ask
22 teams we played, he scored against 5 of them.
I hear that. The reason I ask you this though is that when he was playing a lot and probably one of the mainstays in your team, he looked good. Then it's kind of like on the fringes, like you said, maybe not playing as well, and his form's kind of dipped. Now he's in the middle of a contract negotiations, and it doesn't seem like it's going well. Do you feel like it's kind of valid that he's having this kind of bad spell, so to speak? Because I'm not saying it just because we're linked to him. I actually think Mount is bro. I kid you not. I think Mount is actually good. Do I think he's amazing?
So do I, by the way. So do I.
I just think he's good, though. I think he's someone that can be a good player in one of the top 6's squad.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he can be first.
I think he can be a good player for you guys, because I think he fits your system a lot better. But with us, individually, like, I get the team hasn't been playing well, but you have to look at how players play individually and look at it through that. All I see from him is constantly the wrong decisions. Like, he will either overhit passes, he will underhit passes. His weight of pass is genuinely terrible.
Really?
Decision making all over the place, because if it's not the weight of pass, he will just straight up ignore runners. And
Agreed. I've seen that with Felix Madamounts already, by the way.
I've seen that a couple of times with Felix, but Felix looks too good on the ball for me to get him just yet. We still aren't.
No, but what I'm saying is, no, I'm not meaning I've seen it with Felix. What I've seen is I've seen Felix like pick up the ball deep, play a ball to Mount, right, and his run be fucking unbelievable. Yeah, Felix making runs that world-class players make, and Mount just not seeing him. By the way, I've seen Bernardo Silva's done it with Haaland a few times this season as well. So it's not just your play, but sometimes where this is a difference with De Bruyne. De Bruyne knows what an elite striker does, right? Felix,
but you have those players that have those outlets.
Elite players run, and Mount is just literally playing a backwards pass instead of thinking, hold on a second, this guy has just run 100 yards and through on goal if I play him through. So.
But this is the difference. Like, you have multiple outlets. So if Bernardo Silva ain't on that, you've got other players that can at least make up for it. With us, we are basically reliant on Mount for long periods. And Mount you could single-handedly say he was holding back our attack. Single-handedly. Because it's not just Felix. It's not just Aubameyang. It's Lukaku. It's Werner. It's Havertz. It's anybody up top. Because
but other times, would you not say that's this season? But here's the thing. Other times,
and last season,
Mount single-handedly has been your driving force for me. There's times where I've seen him pick up the ball and drive forward when other people. I like Mount. Look, sometimes it is the time where players just have to move on. Like,
I agree.
I think Mount is a good player. It would be interesting under Klopp. I'm not gonna lie. I think
I will say though, like if Liverpool get Mount,
do you think it's about? Oh, Lee, take your bias out of it.
No.
Do you
I'm
think
being-
it'll be good or do you think it'll be bad? Like,
I
in
think
your
he'll be a
opinion?
shock. I think he's shocking. I think he's
Really?
horrible. I
Oh,
think he's
really?
horrible.
You think it's that
Terrible.
bad?
I think he's so
Terrible.
bad. I think he's so bad.
Like Matt, I will pay the train. I will pay the train
And like
fare.
my thing is,
Bro.
my thing is, look, like, and
Yeah.
listen, I don't necessarily care about England like that, but it is so true. Like, what is it with this English kind of bias where like players that are playing for England just get hyped and put on this pedestal? Like, I just don't get it. I don't understand what it is that Mason Mount does. I don't understand what he's good at. I don't see. And look, you always think about Champions League goals, big moments save a player's, career.
Yeah, of course.
Mustafi won the World Cup, and I think that's where people kind of always think that this guy had a bit of quality when he was horrible.
I don't want to do. No, let's not do Mason Mount like that. I know what you're saying, though. You can be.
Matt, bro,
my
from someone
point-
who's watched them all season, it's that bad.
My
But that's
point
the
is,
season, Lewis.
No,
You know
no,
exactly
but
the
my
season.
point-
But here's
My
the thing.
point
I've
is,
seen
right.
2021 where he was unbelievable, deserved Player of the Year, and since then, all I've seen is a gradual decline.
But
over
how
the
can you
last
get Player of the
2 years.
Year?
Okay,
and
hold on.
just,
Matt,
celebrate them?
Matt,
That's
You want to know
insane.
why? Do you want to know why?
Right,
Because
let
it was
him
a-
land. And
You
then
want to
you
know
go
why he
next.
won Player of the Year? Because
Yeah.
it was a fan vote. That's why. And he's popular.
Matt,
Thiago Silva was robbed in
let me
broad
ask you, though,
daylight.
Matt, right? Let me ask you, like, what is it that you like about him and you put on a pedestal, but why is it that you don't give the same reprieve to someone like Dele Alli? Because we saw what Dele Alli was doing.
Whoa.
Wait, hold on, no.
What? You said I don't rate Ali? Or you used to rate
No,
Ali?
you better not rate Ali now.
My
Rate-
point
Not
is-
now,
rate
but
him
back
now.
in the day.
My
Oh, yeah,
point,
yeah.
my
Yeah,
point
I'm with
is that what Dele Alli was doing for those 3 seasons, I think it was 2015, 16, 17, and
Yeah,
part of
unbelievable, bro.
he was unreal. But it doesn't mean that he's the same player that he was then, now. So you can't just go off one season where he got player of the season and you're now extrapolating that and saying that, yeah, if someone else gets it, because Dele Alli had Pochettino, he then had Mourinho, he went to Turkey, he then went to Lampard. He had Lampard as well. And look,
Yeah,
fine.
he
Look,
did.
my point
Yeah,
is
but
that-
Ali career folded.
yes, but my point is that if a player shows you who they are, believe them. He is not that good. He isn't.
All right,
No,
let me
he's
say
not
this.
that good. And my thing, when I'm saying like the Dele Alli thing, the Dele Alli thing is when you look at what Dele Alli was doing, he was at a higher level than where.
Injuries
then
ruined
when
him. That's what people understand. His injuries ruined him, bro.
Now,
It
but
doesn't-
you know what, guys?
And his
Just quickly,
mentality.
Dele
Mount's not like that.
Alli's. So Dele Alli's from my ends, isn't it? Dele Alli, like one of my close friends was with Dele Alli's sister and shit, and I always was like what he was like, and they were like, he's good, but there's a lot better players in the ends than him. Like, but the confidence thing with him was a mad. Like, you've got to remember, he got that chance, that one friendly against Real Madrid and megged Modric, right? So then he got played the next game, and momentum is a beautiful thing with players. The minute that momentum stops, like it can. But listen, I need to go in a minute. I just need to really, really quickly talk on the United. Liverpool thing.
Bro. Yeah, go on, because you got to go. Yeah, go on.
And last week, I said I thought Liverpool were going to win it, right? And the reason I said it, was because, like, sometimes, right? So when we played you, and I was very, I don't know. They were going. Everyone was saying, look, Liverpool are in really bad form. Look at City at the moment, and I was like, I get when I do the maths. The maths is saying City are gonna, but it's Anfield, and I don't know, and. We went there and we lost 1-0, right? I was saying to the United lot all week, like, they got too carried away. So I just need to, Cass asked me to do a show with him straight afterwards. I said, I'm not going to. I hate Liverpool, bro. I can't come on here and celebrate a Liverpool win. But I just need to thank you for humbling them because, their fan base. Bro, I've despised your fan base. Even this season, at times, Arsenal fan base. But a couple of weeks of Man United looking good, and it reminded me what their fan base is like. And this week I've been in chats when United fans are on streams, and they're trying to avoid talking about Casemiro. And I'm like, no. If you want to put him on a pedestal, like if Haaland's put on a pedestal, people will come.
You got to take the slander that comes with it as well. You can't put
Casemiro apparently changed your whole fucking mentality, right? He was part of a team that got dicked 7-0. You have to speak on it. You can't put it all on Bruno. I get Bruno as the captain, but no one was telling me Bruno was the mentality monster. That's Casemiro and Martinez. So people need to talk on them. So listen,
Martinez.
bro, he was facing the wrong way, bro. Like, he was.
Bro, you see
The butcher's
Martinez.
name needs to stop. That butcher shit needs to stop, bro. That what? So,
Fam.
bro, you know what? I wish I could grab him, pull him back, so there was this side of the ball, so it made
That
sense.
Martinez, that brother right there, they're trying to say he's the butcher.
But I just wanted to say thank
Running
you
to go grab some
because-
meat. Pause.
Whoa.
because it has humbled them,
Whoa.
and that is exactly
That's
what
the
they
t-shirt.
needed. So thank you
Whoa.
for listening. Love. Have a good show, and I'll be
Whoa.
back for the full show next week.
Yes, blessings, bro.
Love,
Blessings
man.
as always, bro.
Love, love,
Love
love.
as always, brother. Listen, man. Big up Daps. Listen, people. I don't know what my man was going for. I don't know, innit? I'm just saying, innit? That's the man had to put the pause in there, but you see United, jeez, they got smoked. But listen, we're gonna do in a minute because I wanted to finish off. What did you talk about before? Hold on,
I was
what's you
talking
talking about?
about Chelsea and then
Chelsea.
Chelsea and
Yeah,
Mount,
yeah.
Mason Mount, Mason
Oh,
Mount.
Mason Mount. That's it.
Mason
That's what,
Mount. Yeah,
the
he's
Mount
yours
thing-
in the summer. You can enjoy him.
but see, I don't like. See, I'm starting to get worried now. I'm starting to wonder, like, what Mount?
Nah,
Am
trust
I
me.
remembering the Mount of 2021? Because, bro, all right, let me keep it about
You are, bro.
You see, Mount Lee. Be honest now. You don't think he could be a Liverpool squad player and come off the bench and be decent, in your
Bro,
opinion?
Bro,
So you're thinking if you see Mason Mount, you're
bro,
laughing. You're like, ha, you
I'm
got Mount.
laughing, bro. The same way, I'll be honest, the same way I look at Ox is the same way I look at Mount, bro. He's horrible, like just not. And we know why Ox isn't good anymore. Ox is not good straight down because of injuries. Nothing else. Quality's there, but it's the
Yeah,
injuries.
of course.
I'm sorry, but Mason Mount is horrible. Like someone said, look, if you buy him, I'm sitting there
Now,
saying,
look at the comments too, by the way, bro.
take
I'm
him,
looking at the comments, bro.
take him, bro. He's
I'm
so
not gonna
bad.
lie.
I will gladly give him
So
to
bad.
you.
Not one person
Gladly.
has said good something
He's
about.
so bad. He's
You
so
are
Oh,
getting
bad.
the
Mason
shell of 2021 Mount. Like, if you like pressing and road running for 90 minutes, he's your guy, my friend. If you want passes
What-
forward,
He's just a
and
press
some
monster.
creativity,
That's
Do
what
you know
I'm
what?
saying.
And
He's just
do
a
you know
press
what's so
monster.
nice about this, right? Look, even Jamrock said Team Kop-Ish, Mount would be a good option instead of Curtis Jones. He would
One
give you more.
person.
But my
Yeah,
thing
one
is,
big
look,
Jamrock
look,
says.
look what he's saying though. Instead of
Yeah.
Curtis Jones, who
No,
never
but-
gets any game time.
But that's kind of what I was alluding to because I said squad player.
Nah,
Remember
man.
when you got, bro? Mason Mount. We know as Liverpool fans would never start for us. Not like if everybody was fit, Mason Mount walks in. No, just like how Lewis said, he's not good enough. But what I'm trying to say is, you're telling me he's not good enough to play instead of Curtis Jones. Them
Listen,
man
man.
there.
I don't know.
We
bro.
can't. What you don't
If-
think he's
if-
better than
if
them,
Klopp
man?
wants him, I don't really trust that IQ because I know that guy wanted Götze over Mane.
Oh,
so,
what? And like I wanted Gakpo, and look how that's turned
Whoa,
out.
hold
Like
on,
I wanted Nunes, and look how that's turning out.
hold on.
here's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
thing:
yeah.
what is Curtis
Wait,
Jones like
We're
one
not
of
gonna
your
do
worst
this now.
midfielders?
Yeah,
No,
what?
hold on a second.
Yeah, go on.
You, Matt, you are not gonna come on this
Okay.
show, on your show. You are the host, and I ain't even gonna let you do this. Were you not the one that kept banging on? Oh, Pep Linder's got Gakpo. Oh, he's got so much control. Pep Linder's this, Pep Linder's that. Was you not the one that kept saying this? And now you're trying to say that it's Klopp that's getting the blame for, or he's getting the credit for Gakpo. Are you gonna
Klopp's
say this?
wanted him since the summer.
Are
by the
you,
way.
Matt? Are you gonna now tell me after all of these weeks where he wasn't looking good, when he wasn't banging for you up front, he wasn't scoring week in and week out, and you kept putting all the blame on Pep Linders because you were like, oh, I believe Gakpo is a signing for Pep Linders. Why is he letting him get away with this? And now,
All right, can I respond?
Now all of a sudden you're going to say that Klopp is the person who wanted Gakpo. Is that what you're going to do?
All right. Let me say this now. So, firstly, I would just like to say, when we bought Cody Gakpo, I did say it looks like a Pep Linder signing.
Oh my God.
I can say that because I'm agreeing with you. That's what I just said. I said that's a Pep Linder signing. In terms of Nunes, though, Nunes, I don't think Nunes I said was Klopp actually. It was Gakpo that I kept on saying was thinking 100%. But here's the thing, Lee. Who signs off on it? So even if it's my man's idea, Klopp, no. What?
Nah,
What?
nah, nah,
Who
nah,
has to
nah.
sign off on the deal, bro?
You are a but now listen, I'm not gonna
Who
let
has to
you
sign
lie.
off on it?
I'm not gonna let you lie
I'm not
to your
lying.
fan base.
I've given you your listen. I've given you your
You
plaudit.
you
You know what I'm
gave it
saying?
all. You gave all the credit to Pep Linders, all the blame to Pep Linders because it
Bro,
was Pep Linders this,
yes.
Pep Linders that. No
Yes.
way, you are not getting away with this.
Bro,
You're-
hear what I'm saying again. And I've even said, yeah, I've apologized for giving Linders the slack for about the whole Gakpo thing. But my whole overall point is, yes, whether Linders chose Gakpo and it wasn't a Klopp idea, whatever, yeah, the fact remains is, and everybody knows this, everybody knows Klopp will have the final say. Even if it's his boy, he still has to say to his boy, you know what, we can do that, or nah, fam, we ain't doing that. So yes, you are right. You're right in that regard, but Klopp still signs it
Wow.
off. Am I lying, people?
I
Am
never
I
in
lying?
my
I'm
life.
actually lying.
Listen,
Am I
I've
lying?
never heard you break it down like that. Never. I've
Am I
always
lying?
kept it. So hold on. So wait, hold on. So if this was the case,
Mhm.
why would you then mention Pep? If it was
So
a
if
Klopp
this was
sign-
the case, no, because obviously if a
it was
man,
Klopp signing,
listen to what I'm
if-
gonna say. Listen to what I'm
if it
gonna
was
say.
a Klopp
Listen
signing-
to what I'm gonna say. Listen to what I'm gonna say. When we were having a go at Pep Linders, we were saying Pep Linders is having too much influence in Liverpool. Yeah.
No.
Because
Talk on Gakpo. Talk on Gakpo. That's what you said.
what-
I'm talking about
what-
Gakpo.
You want to talk about
You
Gakpo?
said.
What's
You
specifically
said.
about Gakpo?
And,
Go on.
listen, I'm gonna find the quote. You said.
Find the quote, bro.
You said that Gakpo was a Pep Linders signing.
Yes.
I ain't letting you let.
I
I'm not
stand
letting you
by
let-
that.
So you
I
don't-
stand by that.
We can't do
But I
this. whole
stand by that,
thing,
though.
you know? Okay, so
What do you
don't
mean?
talk about. So now we don't need to talk about.
Oh,
Klopp
I get it.
signing
So
off.
out of all the players that Klopp signed, you wanna hone in
No,
on
you
one
mentioned it.
player and say
No,
no,
you
because you
mentioned
said he
it.
hasn't got a talent ID. Because then
Yeah,
you started reading off names, and then
Hold
I
on.
said Gakpo. So, should we rewind? Do we need
Hold on,
Lewis to go do
up
VAR?
and on one LFCT. Look, yes, Matt, you did. Everybody's saying you did.
So
You
one person
said-
says I did.
No, everybody, go back up. Look, everybody said, I can't believe I'm here. Leah, big up Lee. Look, everyone's saying it.
Bro,
Everyone's
they're
saying it.
talking. But listen, but what people understand, I'm agreeing with your whole
So,
Pep
okay,
Linders
so you
point.
can't now talk about Klopp now. You can't talk about Klopp now.
Why?
It's either one or the other.
Who signed Nunes? But we're talking about one player. That's fine. Okay, you can have Gakpo. That's absolutely fine. So then what about Nunes?
You can
then?
have Mount too, bro. You can have Mount.
What about
Listen,
Nunes?
Listen,
What about Nunes? Who signed Nunes? Who signed it? This is what I'm saying. Stop lying.
I've
bro.
just seen in the news that
Come
Klopp
on, man.
didn't want Mane and he didn't want Mo. He wanted Gakpo and he wanted Brandt. Was it Julian
Huh?
Brandt?
No, he wanted Julian Brandt instead of Salah.
Okay.
And the Mane one, there might have been someone ahead of him, but Michael
Wasn't it
Edwards.
Gotze? No, it wasn't Gotze.
Oh, but who wanted Virgil van Dijk though?
Oh, come on, man, it's ridiculous. That's the most
No,
ridiculous.
no. But the thing is, you're trying to hone in on a couple of players, which is fine because every manager makes mistakes. But then the list is way more positive. Robertson, Van Dijk, Ibu, Fabinho. There's bare man that Klopp wanted and got. His talent ID is good. Might not be the best, but it's good, bro. Come on, man.
Listen, my hands, they're clean.
Listen. I didn't. Your hands are clean. That's absolutely fine. But all I know is this year we won 7-0. I don't really care about who signed who. I'm enjoying this show. Lewis is enjoying this show. You should be enjoying this show.
I hope you sign Mount in the summer. I really do.
No, Lewis, man. I don't like that. You know, I'll be honest.
You're
saying it too calm.
I'll get you a Mount kit and everything, bro. Because
you're saying it. I don't like the way he's saying it so calm, bro.
I'm telling you, man. This guy has been declining, and if Klopp can turn it around, fair play.
Lee, look at the comment.
I'll just show his ability, but nah.
What has that got to do with
talent ID?
What has that got to do with
your manager got? Just quick question: has your manager got talent ID though?
He has. I can tell you. Do you want me to name the names? Do you want me to name the names? Then we're top of the league with these players.
Lee.
Hold on.
Just quickly. Who? No, all jokes aside, did he sign Pepe actually? Or he didn't?
No, he didn't. Exactly. That's where you're wrong.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So let me just
find his signings. I'm gonna find his signings.
Yeah, hold on. So when we bought our keeper Ramsdale, you were laughing. Now look at him. When we bought Ben White, you were laughing. Yes, you were.
Hold on. Let's not get twisted about Ramsdale. Ramsdale's not top 5 in the.
No, but it doesn't matter. My point is
Ramsdale is meaty.
Okay,
come on.
My point is that you
signed Willian.
Yes, Yes, and why? Do you want me to tell
People,
you
give me
why?
the names because
Do
I'm
you
hosting
want
the show. I ain't got time to look at
Do
the
you want me
stuff,
to tell you why? Do you want me to tell you
but-
why?
Yeah, go.
Because we were in a position where we were trying to rebuild. We were trying to get rid of the crap players that we had. We had a whole bunch of nonsense in the team, and he was a free signing. And the reason why is because he came off one of the best seasons that he had at Chelsea.
David Luiz.
And Chelsea wanted to, again. Yeah, the reason why I've told you.
Lokonga. Them boy there.
Yeah, okay, but that's a squad player, bro. You're not. Give me a player. Give me look at the players that he's brought in and look what he's done, and then come
He's
back.
had to get rid of them because they made mistakes, bro. Just like what I'm trying to say is, all jokes aside, it's
Hold
not
on.
a tit for tat thing.
Look at Naby Keita.
Okay, Laka's gonna look at Pep, look at Lokonga. Sorry, he's already gone out and loan after one season.
Okay, and one guy is £50 million, and one was £12 million.
David Luiz.
And what did I tell
Cedric.
you? This guy, you're not listening. You're not listening.
I'm listening.
Okay, let me tell you, these players that you're mentioning, the reason why
he's gotten rid of them.
The reason why we got these players is because we were going through a rebuild and we had to get players in as a squad option. He had to work with these players. He didn't have a choice. I'm talking about your first choice players that he wanted to get in, and
Pablo Murray.
Again, I told you.
I'm sorry, bro. Now some of these players,
I don't know what you want me to do. What you want to say?
I just want you to. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to get you to kind of like open your eyes and think. You know what it is? Yeah, I understand you saying Klopp has had some howlers. Of course he has, bro. I'm not denying that. But so has Arteta. Arteta's had howlers as well, bro.
Listen,
you know what I'm trying to say? Everyone has the howlers, bro.
Listen, man, my guy, I'm top of the league, man. I don't need to argue with these guys. Where
are you?
Where are you right now?
Is that what we're really
Where are you right now? You lot on seven heaven. Seven heaven.
Listen, you and this fan base, you know why you could never leave this show? When you was at your lowest, we picked you up, yeah?
Listen.
When you was in your worst, we helped you overcome your fears, bro.
Listen.
We're the fans that kept you in love with football.
Listen.
Yeah.
Listen.
When you needed Liverpool, we were there for you.
Calma,
you could never chat bad on us, ever, bro.
Calma.
You could never chat bad on us. Never.
Calma.
Never.
I just want to say as well, because I saw people in the comments trying to compare it to like Salah signing for you guys or something. Salah had like under 20 appearances for Chelsea. Like with Salah, he just left because he was depth. He wasn't anything serious. Mount has had about 128 appearances or something around that. We've seen enough of him. We've watched him enough to know the sort of player that he is. There is a considerable decline in him. If Liverpool end up spending 50 million to bring in Mason Mount, like what's been reported, I will celebrate. I will celebrate because I can't believe they'd be going for that amount. But that's what the amount's going to be for him. You're interested. Apparently, United's interested, and fair play. Let whoever wants him have him because he's asking for wages close to what Reece James is on, and his impact on the team is the complete reverse of what Reece James is. When Reece James is out of the team, we play worse. When Mount's out of the team, we play better. There's a difference. So to me, let Mount go. Thanks for 2021 and everything, but you've been declining. So it is what it is.
Boy, well, they have people. That's straight from one of the Chelsea, you know, what can I say? Correspondence.
He wants 200k a week as well, by the way.
So. Yeah, I'm wondering whether he wants that because he's seen what a certain man are getting like Reece James and then guys there. So,
but it's like you're not at that level though. Reece James is unbelievable.
No, of course.
But Mount, like, no, you annoy me half of the time you're on the pitch. Most of the time, if I even recognize you, because sometimes you go invisible for 45 minutes.
So you want to pay 200k for a squad player, yeah, Matt?
No, I'm not saying that. But but obviously the numbers have to listen. The maths have to. If the maths aren't mathing, then it can't run in it. I'm just saying, like what Jamrat was saying, it would have to be like for a relative good fee and decent wages. Where, like, for example, instead of like a Curtis Jones, you can bring in a Mason Mount. Do you get what I'm trying to say? It's one of them ones. You guys are right. I'm not saying Mount could ever, for me personally, start in our first 11. He can't. I don't think he's that guy. But I do think he's good enough to play in someone's squad, though. And that's why I slightly disagree. I know, Lewis, you've watched him way more than I have. So I know you got a very strong opinion and probably more reflective of him. But I just sometimes look at Mason Mount. I think he's a little bit underrated because he's English, because he gets thrown into that category of, oh, because you're English, everyone thinks you're sick. Well, he's not that bad. He's actually decent. It's just that he's not
So what do you
amazing.
see in him?
If I'm being honest, I think Mason Mount, sorry, very energetic. I think he's got decent technical ability as well. Decent technical ability. I think when he's on it, he can have an eye for a goal, especially if he's in and around the box. And not only that, I think he picks up very good. He's got good awareness for spacing. So see, like Mount running into a channel or running into the 10 spot. I think Mount's got good awareness. Like I think these are things that can work in a team.
Well, half of what you said is off the ball attributes.
Yeah, maybe so.
Work rate and movement and all of that.
Yeah.
I always say, like, if
you
your
think he's
best
good on the ball,
attributes
though?
are off the ball, then it says a lot about what you bring on the ball.
No, but I think he's good on. No, but I also think, like, you see, technically, I think Mason Mount is actually pretty decent technically, though.
I think he's got an unbelievable half turn, and that's about it.
Man said a half turn. That's all we got.
He's got a brazy half turn. He'll spin any player, but after that,
what you don't think he can dribble? He ain't really. No, when I say dribble,
no, I
from
don't
A
think
to
he
B.
I don't think he can dribble consistently.
Okay.
In terms of beating a man one-on-one, not really. In terms of creativity, no. In terms of long shots, half the time I just see them blocked. Like, it's just not the right time for it. But it again goes to Mason Mount's decision making, which has just been absolutely terrible. In terms of finishing, like, if you get him in the position, maybe like in the box or something, like I think.
I just want to ask you, like, why do you want this kind of basic midfielder when you've already got like 2 or 3 of those?
He brings you nothing except running.
Harvey Elliott.
Well, I don't understand. You're just looking for a reaction, innit? You can't. Not today, fam. We won 7-0. It's not gonna work.
Asking, you've got 7. You got Harvey Elliott, man. You got Harvey Elliott.
Don't you dare speak on Harvey Elliott.
That's one project that you've got a lot of work to do.
You
need to calm down with him, man.
El Neni, yeah.
Again, this is where you like you do tit for tat, but it doesn't work.
Tit for tat, bro. You just brought up Harvey Elliott.
And El Neni is a man who's going, and he literally doesn't play for us. You play Harvey Elliott, and you talk about him as like your new star boy wonder kid.
No, I haven't. That's why. I haven't.
So I'm just saying, if you want a basic midfielder, you can run around and do the bip. Just keep Harvey Elliott in your team, and you keep it moving.
Allow it, man. Allow it, bro. Allow it. One thing you done, because I look at some of your players and think, because you're top of the league, I look at Lewis. Didn't they buy that? I know what Lee's trying to do. Didn't they buy that Fabio Vieira guy?
Listen, he played well today, man.
Yeah.
What's he done, Lee? What's he done? How much he cost you? How much he cost you, though? How much he cost you? That's an Arteta signing, huh?
He looks good, bro.
How much he cost?
I just said to you, he looks good. 35 million.
He looks good. What's he done? What's he actually done?
He scored a nice banger against Brentford.
And that's it.
Listen,
34 million gets you a banger against Brentford, but you're laughing at Mason Mount.
You asked him.
Brother,
listen,
you got to know where you're from.
He's helped to propel us to where in the league?
You got to know where you're from, G.
Hold on. Where did he help propel us to?
He didn't propel to anywhere. It's hardly played.
Listen, where did he play? I'm just asking you, where did he help? He scored a goal in the Premier League.
1 goal.
So where has he helped us to be propelled to?
But he scored 1 goal.
You don't answer the question. Where did
he hasn't? You're trying to get me to admit he's helped on your journey. He hasn't done that. In fact, Lee, thank you for that. Actually, that's a great segue. I want to talk about you guys. Actually, we'll talk about you guys. This is a great.
You didn't even answer me. Where did he?
No. I'm going to ask you because it's a great segue onto your team because that's part of my on the notes. Part of the notes. You know, like that. It's the notes, yeah. All right then, Lee. Let's talk about Arsenal. So you survived another test. It's a great segue, by the way. You beat who was it? Bournemouth. You struggled against them. You struggled against Bournemouth, bottom team Bournemouth. You struggled. You got the winning goal though. How do you feel about that? That obviously you won the game. Bournemouth being bottom of the league. Was you a little bit worried, even though you won the game? Are you still a bit concerned that, Raj, you know what, a team like that can cause us a bit of problems and we were just able to hold on? Or do you still see it as, do you know what? That's the sign of champions where you don't play well and you can still get your victory.
Listen, I remember us. I think it was 2 seasons ago when you were chasing Man City, and I think you played a Champions League game. I think you went through. You battled back. It might have been after the Barcelona game. Actually, I can't remember. And you played Newcastle. Origi scored
Oh,
a last-minute goal.
yeah. I
Listen,
remember that.
my point is that some games it just happens like that where you struggle and you fight back and you win, and that's what we did. That's what we did. Like the first goal, it wasn't offside. Well, it's not offside, but it shouldn't have stood because the guy was in our half. However you want to look at it, by the letter of the law, that shouldn't have stood. We had four. I mean, I don't know if you watched the game, but we had four clear-cut opportunities to get a penalty from VAR, which was turned down.
Is this true?
ESR was subbed on and subbed off, and the reason why is again because he's got a time restriction. So that was one of the reasons why. So he actually, yeah, because he just come out from injury. We're trying to work him.
No. But wouldn't he just say he could pay 15? Would you not play him on the 75th?
No, because he came on for Trossard because Trossard got injured. So Trossard got injured. He was the first substitute, and then we took him off.
Okay.
It is a concern that we're conceding goals, but listen, today Europa League, we obviously conceded 2 goals, but it is what it is. Like ultimately, right now, we didn't play with Gabriel, who's one of our more commanding centre backs. He's not on the level of Van Dijk or any of those players. Of course not. That would be ridiculous for me to say, but he's a very good player for us. And that's it. Like no one's going to probably rate him, but it is what it is, man. And yeah, man. Look, ultimately, we scored the goals. It was a great goal by Reece Nelson. And
great finish. I saw that. I actually saw. I remember I turned. Yeah, I turned over.
What I'm liking is, and listen, no matter what anyone's going to say, no one's going to rate Arteta on this channel because you're all Liverpool fans, and you spanked Arsenal a few times. I think Arteta's only beaten Klopp once. And that was through the lockdown period.
I like to think the chat are fair though, because even though I know what you're saying, obviously we're Liverpool fan channel, but one thing I always try and do, all jokes aside, is I will always give players respect. Like for example, it's like me sitting there saying Henry's not a footballing legend, or Henry's not one of the best players to ever grace the Prem. That's just me being stupid.
But what I will say is Arteta made some changes. He made the changes at halftime. He saw Tomiyasu wasn't playing well, and he took him off. He realized, yes, maybe partly because ESR wasn't playing well, but he was flagging, and he, as I said, he couldn't play the whole game, hence why he had to come off, and he brought Reece Nelson on. And all 3 of the goals where the substitutes were part of it. Ben White scored a goal. He came on at halftime for Tomiyasu. Reece Nelson gave the assist. Thomas Partey, he scored the goal from the mistake he made letting the corner go. And lastly, Reece Nelson scored the goal. So all I can say is the manager's getting better. He's making the right subs. He's being more ruthless, and he's making, like Klopp, unfortunately, tactical decisions in the game that make the difference in the game. And Klopp's got very, very good attributes. He's got really good attributes, but let's just say one of them that he isn't as good as that at this current moment in time is his in-game management. And Arteta is getting better at that, and you're seeing the progression of a really, really good coach and manager. He's not world class yet, of course not. That would again be stupid. But he's getting better, man. And the players are getting better. Saka's, doing what he needs to do. And listen, man, 3-2, we're 2-0 down. That shows minerals, man. That shows some real minerals. And well done to the team, man.
No, I hear that. Lewis, when you saw that game, did you kind of say to yourself, do you know what? Now you're thinking this Arsenal team actually might win it, because they looked like they were going to draw the game, potentially even lose it at one point, if I'm not mistaken. They came back, obviously. Reece Nelson got that amazing goal. Was that even though it was bottom team Bournemouth, and funny enough, people are saying, Matt, don't jinx it, we got them weekend. I understand that, but it's different, isn't it? Like different when you just because they play Bournemouth and struggle doesn't mean say that we're gonna do the same thing and vice versa. We know football doesn't work like that. Do you know what I'm saying? But Lewis, did you see that victory from Arsenal and go, that might be the one where they actually might win the league? Because that's the game where you really thought they'll drop points, and then if Man City win their game, more pressure on Arsenal. Like, how did you see that game, bro?
I was at the Leeds game during that, but we were checking the scores during the game. As soon as it got to 2-1, I was thinking, these fuckers are going to come back, aren't they? It would be just perfect. And they've done it before as well. Villa, they did it against United as well, I think. But 97th minute, it does feel like that is the stuff of title winners, I'd say, because like you need to have that sort of grit and willpower to just push through, even with just a couple of minutes left. And they've done it enough times this season as well. It's just jarring, but yeah, they're title favorite. They're title contenders at this point. I'll say contenders.
Yep.
Yeah, title contenders.
Yeah, do you know what? If I'm being honest, it pains me to say, when I saw you lot get that winning goal, I think I turned it over as 93 minutes.
Mm.
And I said, Arsenal gonna draw this game, you know.
Did
I was
you?
like,
Did you say that? Oh,
No, I can be honest, but this is the thing, Lee, between me and you. I can be honest, fam. I can be honest. You still trying to deny you were a Liverpool fan when in your time of need.
I wasn't
Well,
never a Liverpool.
But like, listen, the internet's undefeated, but I can be honest and be like, Arsenal definitely gonna drop points, you know. Bro, when you scored that winning goal, I swear to God, I was so angry. I felt like smashing up my TV, but I was like, for flip's sake, bro, these guys are so lucky. But at the same time, one thing I will say though, it pains me to say it, but when you're doing well, things like that just happen for you. There were many times when we won the league, there was a few occasions where we got away with one. Like we was able to get away with that scrappy 1-0 or that 3-2. So I fully understand that. And as an Arsenal fan, as you are, you're gonna be thinking that could be the game now. Not even the Man City game or the games, you know, going forward. That might be the game where you look back and go, that was the one, you know.
Do you know what I want to say though? Yeah, and look, there's a funny thing in football which is luck, and I totally refute the claims that was lucky. We had 31 shots on their goal, and we absolutely battered them to submission. And you know, okay, fine. If you want to say it was luck, we created our own luck, so we absolutely deserved that win, no matter what. Like it just came, unfortunately for us, in the last kick of the game. So listen, man, you can't tell me that we had 89% possession, something stupid like that. The whole game, not just one half, the whole game, the amount of passes we had, the amount of shots we had, and you know, we were lucky to win that game. That's craziness. But listen, man, it is what it is. We won the game, no problems. We're on to the next game. We got Fulham next away, which is going to be a really, really difficult game. Oh
yeah, you got Fulham away, innit?
Do
you know what are you saying about that game, quickly? What are you saying about the Fulham game?
I would say that is going to be a stressful game. I think the issue.
You home or away? Sorry, you home or away?
We're away.
You're away. Okay.
And again, look, before I move any more forward, how we didn't win the game by luck, Jamrock. You said, I mean, I don't believe that was a lucky finish. It wasn't a lucky goal. It was a really well taken goal. Anyone that's going to talk about extra time, you didn't watch the game, because I can tell you now that their keeper was time wasting the whole game, and that's what's been happening against Aston Villa. Why we find it funny? They tried to do it against Leicester, where the keeper tried to time waste. Again, there was no luck involved in that win. So listen, man, I'm not going to kind of talk about that game anymore. It is what it is. But yeah, moving on to Fulham, it's going to be a really difficult game. We're struggling from set pieces, and Mitrovic is probably licking his lips right now, thinking, "Yeah, look, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for Saliba and Gabriel." But you know what? Gabriel, he likes to stand up to these tests. He likes to stand up against guys who are a bit more rough and ready. He actually struggles more against the players that are small and diminutive, like a Jota, like a Luis Diaz for Liverpool, etc., etc. And I think he actually would prefer to play against someone like Gakpo or Nunes. Not to say that Nunes didn't score against us, he did. So Paulinho's out as well for Fulham, who's one of the best, sort of centre mids, breaking up play. So Odegaard should be, fit and firing. Xhaka, and then obviously Partey should be fit and ready. And hopefully, man, we can get the win. I think we should be able to. We know how important it is, and I'm going to back my boys, man. I'm going to back my boys. So yeah, I definitely think we should be getting 3 points. And if we hopefully will do something that you didn't do, because I think you did you win there?
Where?
At Craven Cottage. Did you win there?
Trying to think.
I can tell you didn't. I can tell you didn't.
I was just trying to search the menu.
You don't need to search. You could have just asked me. I could have told you.
Genuinely, I was just trying to get my bearings, innit?
You just ask me, man. I'll tell you that you didn't win. You didn't win.
But like I said, I'm honest. It's been a long day, fam. I'm tired, innit? I'm tired, man. But Leon, I swear, you see, next season, I need us to.
What do you mean next season? This is this season.
No, I'm just saying. Obviously, this season. Listen, this season is one of them ones where you have to understand where you're at, and we're not at a level where we should be at. No, but like I said, I can be honest. We're not at a level where we should be. Neither at Chelsea either. We've got to keep it a buck. two big powerhouses are not where they should be. And it doesn't necessarily mean you win the league, but you're just not doing what you should be doing. And that's at least being in the running, in the mix. Neither two teams in the mix. You are with only the one powerhouse. If you guys can, let's say you win it or you don't even win it, but let's say you do this again next season, bro, and you've got us and Chelsea to worry about, bro, it's going to be that Royal Rumble that everyone wants to see. And that's what we love to see about the Prem, bro. It's a Royal Rumble thing, isn't it? Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, Man United. There's a reason why it's the big six, innit? Big up the big six as well. Big up Turkish and everybody on the show, man. Big them all up as well. But yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting next season. It's gonna be interesting.
I want to ask you a question, though. I want to ask you a question because there's been a lot of Liverpool fans over the last 2-3 seasons talking about Van Dijk, saying he's the best centre back, or he's up there with the levels of John Terry's. Unfortunately, dare I say, even a little Sol Campbell, Rio Ferdinand, Vidic, Carvalho, etc., etc. I just want to know if you still agree with that, because obviously he's had quite a few seasons off. He's not actually been up to the level. He's 31 now, and he doesn't seem to be the same guy. He seems to be looking like he likes to do a lot of dirty whining all the time in cup finals.
Who?
Van Dijk. I've seen a lot of his bum being sticking
Why
out.
Are you gonna do that?
I've been seeing him do all of this stuff against Real Madrid, and I'm just saying what I've seen. So I'm just asking you: do you still believe that he should be up there with those kind of centre backs? Because the longevity is not really there. He's not been as consistent as some of those centre backs. So I'm just asking you: do you still agree with that notion that he should be up there with one of those players, some of them players, the best centre backs ever to grace the Premier League?
Let me tell you one thing about Virgil van Dijk. Bro, Virgil van Dijk has, probably for the last 10, 15 years, has had the best individual season from a centre-back, and that was the 18-19 season. No other centre-back can come close. I kid you not. And that's like just a single season, yeah? You want to talk about what he's done and how he's not having a great season. That's absolutely fine, bro. He even came out and said the other day that it feels like he played a bit too much football. And I think the bad injury really did affect him. Does that change the way how I perceive Virgil van Dijk? It doesn't, bro. So even the greats. Let me land.
He's up there.
Let me land. Even the greats are allowed a bad season, bro. Because let's be honest, bro. He had a bad injury when we had the no centre backs, and came back last season and was in the hunt for a quad, yeah, and won 2 trophies, yeah. And only this season people can really talk about Van Dijk. They've been waiting since he arrived at Liverpool to talk bad about him. I find it kind of mad that a guy that's been at the top all his Liverpool career is now having a bit of a weird season, and everyone now wants to say he's
just
not that guy.
Was it? Yeah, okay.
You get what I'm trying to say? But again, I know what you tried to do there. But again, you're the same Arsenal. You're the same fan base were the ones that saying Saliba is going to be as good as Van Dijk. You're the same fan base that say Gabriel is the guy when Gabriel's committed more mistakes than Saliba, and Saliba's actually the new centre back who's now apparently supposed to be. In fact, they've both made. How many errors have they made this season?
I've asked you a question, and you still haven't answered it. Yes,
I did answer it.
Yes,
I didn't answer it. Of course, he's up there.
So he deserves to be up there.
Lee, I don't know what you're trying. I really don't know.
I don't know, man. What do you think, Lewis? I don't know. I was just wondering. Like, a couple of seasons, like he's been doing a lot of whining. He's had his bum out a few times.
What do you guys think of Jaap Stam? Like, would you put him up there?
He's up, but like he only had one great season.
Yeah, that's the thing. Jaap Stam didn't have he's sick. You see the thing when it goes to ability. Jaap Stam can talk to any centre back, like anyone. It's just that he didn't do it long enough. Whereas I would say Van Dijk walked in 17-18 and was just that guy, and he still is that guy. He's just having a bit of an indifferent season. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Just one or two. You think you had one or two indifferent?
Oh, Lee, you're reaching. You're reaching.
No. So he's only had one.
People season. In the chat, don't let Lee get you. Don't just.
I think Van Dijk's in the conversation, but I don't think he's the winner of the conversation. But I think he's in there.
Bro, that is a fair comment, That's a fair comment.
I like
very, very
so he's in the conversation, but he's at the bottom. We start at Van Dijk.
He never said that. He just said he might not be the winner. Look at you. You see, people. You see, next week, I kid you not, I might have to do double shift and do next week. We need Roy's one next week.
I don't know because everyone kept saying Henri's this and that because they kept.
That's
saying
why you're hurt.
No, hold on. I was just saying one thing because
That's
they
why
kept
you're
saying
hurt,
that
innit?
when he went to New York when he was 31, so he's
Because Henry
22.
never won Champions League at Arsenal.
Listen, man, that's all I kept hearing about, man. That's all I said.
He's a Barca legend.
And that's all I kept hearing. But anyway, I'm glad we've
It hurts,
established
though,
that.
innit? It does hurt, though, innit? You
Van
get
Dijk
that.
shouldn't Van Dijk's at the bottom of the list. I'm glad we've established that. Right?
Listen, I'll say this, all jokes aside. Obviously, when we took, because his career is not done, it's hard to really say who is the best in it. You can't really do that. But one thing I can say, and this is why I agree with Lewis, he's in the conversation. Do I think when it's all said and done, he'll be the best? I don't know that in it because it's not done yet. You get what I'm trying to say? Because you see, next season it's revenge season, bro. Just remember, I told you though. Remember, I told you. Remember, I told you. And like when I said to you, remember, I said to you, consistency. And I've always said this. I said this 2 weeks ago. Fair play for you guys for doing very well this season, but I want to see it next season and the season after because that's what we had to do. Yeah.
So you want us to finish losers position next season, second?
No, I want you to show me that you being in a title race ain't just a joke thing.
So can we finish second next season?
You've had one title race in 10 years.
I'm asking you, can we finish second next season?
You've had one title race in 10 years.
So if we was to copy,
how many title races have you had in the last 10 years, bro? Have you been competitive?
Yes.
You went. Oh, yes.
2015. Yeah.
Do you know what competitive means? Was you in the Champions League with Chelsea, competing?
Bro, I've asked you a question. I just want to know what you're asking me. What you want from me.
Bro, I asked you. You know, I asked you a question.
Yes, we were, and now I asked you back. Is it okay for us? Is it okay for us to finish second like you did?
No, it's not okay. But one thing I will not say to you is, bro, you man are slacking.
I don't know really what we
next. Lewis, you get what I'm trying to say in it because it's about consistency. Because you can have, everyone can do it. Leicester, everyone can win the league and then go missing the next season. But the thing is, I don't even think Arsenal will do that. I actually think you'll do well. But what I'm saying is, I want you to back that up, bro. You're the Arsenal fan. I want you to sit here and say, we're not going to do it, Leicester. In fact, let me ask you a straightforward question, then we're going to end the show. Will you do it, Leicester? Will you go hiding after one season?
Of course you will, but I just wanted you to know because
that's what I was asking.
You kept saying that you were competing and you finished the bridesmaid. So I'm asking, can we do that? But you don't want to answer that.
The brides?
That's fine.
What?
You finished second. You finished second. You finished second.
But no one's celebrating. But no one's celebrating second. Where does Oh, come on, Lee. What did we finished second last season? But what else did we do, bro? How many trophies did you win last season?
You got a little bit of a fugazi there.
All right, then. You didn't win no trophies. You didn't win nothing. You were nowhere to be seen. Apparently, you were still in the rebuild.
Yeah, we were, man. We finished fifth still. But anyway, we move. We're here now.
Yeah, you didn't even get fourth.
You know what's so nice? You know what's so nice?
Yeah, go on.
Is that everything's about what have you done for me lately. So I don't know what you've done.
Oh, it's one of them ones.
Okay, my team, they're doing all right for me lately.
Okay. Well played. Let's hope you can win the league, Ailey. You gonna win the league?
Listen, man. I'm glad. I'm glad everyone in the chat. You know, you're upset.
You're gonna win the league.
You're gonna go to bed.
Are you gonna win the league? Quick question: you gonna win the league?
Listen, man. Show's done now, man.
This is the biggest botter now. People, that same phrase. Listen, man, bro. Are you gonna win the league? Yes or no?
Listen, it's a long way to go, man. It's a long way to go.
There? You're not confident. You're not confident.
Marathon,
and I'm surprised. But anyway, people.
You know what it is, man.
People, let me read out a couple of the from the chat. Jammer says, have you seen part owner Mike Gordon has returned? Yeah, I did see something about JW Henry saying something about Mike Gordon wasn't gonna retire because there were rumors, Jammer. But yeah, apparently he's back now. So that's gonna be interesting to see what kind of what his role is, Jammer, because he's still gonna be the same. What was he before? Was it managing director? I'm trying to remember his role, but obviously Mike Gordon was one of the figureheads in it in FSG. Uncle Rod says, where's Cass? Look like him run. Hey, Cass unfortunately couldn't make it tonight. He said he unfortunately can't make it. So to be fair to Cass though, he was here when they got Pabst in it. They got Pabst and Cass actually showed up. So, but I want to see Cass hopefully next week. Even though it's not my week, I'm out to do next week still. But yeah, listen, people, It's been a great show as always. Big up the panelists as always. Make sure you go and subscribe to them. You see their ads as well on your screens. Make sure you go and check them out. They are amazing content creators. And as much as we love to give specific people like Lee stick, Lee's still my brother as much as he gets on my nerves. Go and subscribe to Lee. Sometimes he can chat some nonsense, but sometimes he's all right, innit? He's all right. So go check out Lee. Go check out Lewis as well. Lewis is always doing his thing as well. You catch Lewis on various platforms. Go check out Daps. Go check out Cass. Go check them all out, people. Make sure you subscribe to them. But yeah, man, people, it's been a great show. As always, we'll see you again next week, people. We're back. Prem panel show next week. Love as always, people. We out. Take care. Bless.
Peace.